What's up, guys? Welcome back. If you're what in the natural bun is going on? This is not what I asked you to do. I need you to stay like how you stayed yesterday. Hold on, guys. Minor. Hold on. Okay, you are not giving what you were given yesterday. I just need you for another day. Okay, y'all, the bun is not bunning, so BRB. What's up, guys? Welcome back if you're a returning subscriber. If you're new here and you've stumbled upon my page, go ahead and check me out and then consider hitting that subscribe button. While you're down there, you might as well tap, hit, slap, whatever you gotta do. Just activate that notification bell so you can stay up to date every single time I drop some new content. I'm EVE, and this is the Everflame.
I think I started something.
All right, y'all. So the thirst is real and I'm ecstatic about spring, okay? So I don't know what it is, but for me, the transition between winter and spring gets me the most anxious between season changing. And I don't know, I feel like when spring hits, I can finally just exhale. So I've been very thirsty about trying to exhale. I mean, I love my winter scents, but I don't know. I've been very anxious to get to my spring scents. So in my last video, I did mention that I was going to bring to you my top 10 picks for spring 2022. Now, by this time, I'm sure you've probably heard and seen 11 different variations of spring picks for this year, but I'm bringing my 10 cents, so it's going to be 22 even, okay? So if you're interested to see what I've picked for this spring, keep on watching. Okay, so like I mentioned, I have a total of 10 fragrances. I have 5 niche and 5 designer, just to give a healthy mix within the selection. And the first one we're gonna start off with is a designer, and it's an expensive designer, but designer nonetheless. And it's a Rhapsody from Louis Vuitton. Y'all, I had to do it. You knew this was coming, right? Okay, so I've been going on and on and on and on. Well, a couple ons about this scent. This was on my wish list for 2022. I got this for my birthday and I'm ecstatic about it, and I'm ready to dig into this scent. Not too much because it is a pricey bottle, but this nonetheless is a beautiful spring scent. And honestly, I feel like you can wear this year round, but this will definitely blossom in the spring. So this is a white floral scent. It's got, I think, lily of the valley, it's got jasmine, it's got like a hint of oak moss in it, which I don't really get, but nonetheless, this is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful scent. And so this collection consists of 5 different scents that are all extraits. Now, if you know anything about extraits typically do not shout at you. So this is not a shouting type of fragrance, but it's a lingerer, and it lingers all day for me, especially on my skin and clothes. I do not typically spray directly on my clothes on a usual basis, but every now and then I will. But for the sake of testing this out, I did. And so on my skin, I got about 6 or 7 hours, but all day on my clothes for sure. Like I said, this is a white floral. It's got jasmine, lily of the valley. It's also got some rose in there, vetiver, and patchouli. I don't get a lot of the patchouli for me, which I don't really mind either way, but y'all, this is a beautiful scent, and I am going to advocate for everyone to get their noses on the extrait line. To me, they are pretty spectacular. Spectacular enough for the price? No, but they are really good extrait scents, and I would advise, if you could get your nose on any of these, this one is my absolute favorite out of all 5, followed by Symphony, then Cosmic Cloud, I think, and then Stellar Times. But I love this scent. I had to put it on this list because I am going to get into this one this year, and I cannot wait. So this is a Rhapsody from Louis Vuitton. Next up is a niche pick, and that's going to be Young Rose from Byredo. Now, I did talk about this in my Rose video. If you haven't checked that out, I will link that up in the cards above. But y'all, this scent makes me oh so happy. It just brightens up my mood, okay? So this doesn't have a lot of notes listed. I want to say it has rose, of course, in here. It has ambroxan, it has musk. And it doesn't list any citrusy notes for the note breakdown, but I definitely get lemon or bergamot in the opening of this. So I'm not sure if they've just excluded that note from publication, but there definitely is some citrus found in this scent, and it's so beautiful, you guys. That ambroxan, like I said before, just kind of punches it out for you so you can get this beautiful wave of this crisp and fresh and bright rose. So this was my scent of the day on a day that I was getting maintenance done. So on my way to my laser appointment, I sprayed this maybe 2.5 hours before. So I get to my appointment, I sign in, my technician calls me back. As soon as I get in the room, she's asking me, what do you have on because you smell amazing? And I, of course, shared it with her. It was Young Rose. And so throughout my entire appointment, we were talking fragrances. So this definitely sparked up a great conversation about just different scents that we want to delve into for the spring. So Jessica, if you're watching, hey girl, hey, I did give her my information and I got a new subby. So thank you for supporting the channel. And I hope that you'll continue to watch the channel and get more recommendations for spring. So if you're trying to get into rose, or you're already into rose a little bit and you want a fresher, younger, crisper, zestier take on a rose, I want you to get your nose on this and try this out. That ambroxan note just really gives it a blast of brightness and effervescent type of feeling. It's a beautiful scent. It does last pretty well on my skin for me. I got about 5.5, 6 hours this time on my skin. I also did spray this on my clothes and it gave me, of course, longer lasting power on my clothes. So Young Rose from Byredo. Okay, so the next fragrance is Libre from YSL. Now, this is the Eau de Toilette version, and I just feel like Libre overall is either loved or hated. There really isn't an in-between with this fragrance, but for the springtime, I really feel like this is a beautiful scent to wear. Now, for me, most people love the intense version, while I prefer the original. I also really like the EDT version. So in this version, it tones down the lavender note in here, but it also adds a jasmine tea note as well as, I want to say, bergamot. So it's a little bit more zestier in the opening, and you have a little bit more of that white floral shining through. And of course, on the dry down, it has the musk, it has the vanilla, as well as the ambergris. Now, what is surprising to me is that even though this is an EDT, this performs for me like an EDP. So as far as lasting power, it performs pretty much the same as the original version for me. I, of course, love this one, as you can tell by this dent, but I think this is a great one for the springtime, and it, like I said, it lightens up the version from the original. If you feel like that one is too much or too heavy or too overbearing, give this one a try. I really like it, so yeah. I want to also say that this isn't listed in here either, but I smell some kind of berry note. I don't know if it's a strawberry or not a raspberry, maybe a strawberry, but there's some type of berry fruit note that I kind of get in the background of this scent as well, but it's very faint. I don't know if it's just a mix of the other components, but this to me is a beautiful spring scent, so I would highly recommend Libre from YSL. Okay, so next we have a niche fragrance, and this is going to be Cassi from Parfums de Marly. Now, I know my list could have included Delina, it could have included Delina Exclusive, but I wanted to show Homegirl, my first love for this house, some love on this video. So Cassi was actually the fragrance that I gravitated to first before I did Delina. When the Delina hype happened, I wasn't on board initially. It was Cassi who I fell in love with upon first sniff. Now, this is a beautiful, this is such a pretty floral scent. And y'all, all of these fragrances are florals. So if you're not a big floral fan, this may not be the video for you, but you have to understand overall during the springtime, florals are typically what's in. Some florals are masked with like your ambers, or not really ambers, but vanillas and musk and maybe woodsy notes. So This is a floral that I just absolutely love. So this has got quite a few notes in it. It's got red currant, it's got rose, it's got plum, it's got frangipani, as well as tonka bean, vanilla, and sandalwood. And what I find very interesting about this scent is that it doesn't have a peach note listed as one of the notes, but I definitely get peach vibes. Peach and pear mix. There's something in here that's along the lines of a peach, maybe an apricot, a pear. It's in here and it's so beautifully creamy. This is a beautiful creamy peach scent that you have to have for the springtime. This, I think, was made for the springtime. So if you have not gotten your nose on Cassi, it's not as beast mode as the Delinas are, but it definitely serves a great scent profile. If you want to go out to a ladies brunch or you're doing like tea time, you know, this is a perfect scent to put on for a beautiful, bright Sunday afternoon. So this is Cassi from Parfums de Marly. Okay, so next up we have Tiffany & Co. Rose Gold. Now this is a light fruity floral and it's absolutely beautiful. Y'all, this was pleasantly, surprisingly beautiful for me. I wasn't expecting to like this one so much, but I got a whiff of this at Ulta. Wasn't really intending on purchasing this, but once I sprayed this on my wrist and I just got wafts of it as I was walking through the store, I had to turn around and pick up a bottle. So that's what I did. This is such a pretty floral. It's got black currant on the top, it's got rose and iris in the middle, and in the bottom, musk. And you know how much I love my musk. But the musk is not weighty, it's not heavy. This is light, this is crisp. It's not too sharp, but it's also, it's not a punch in the face either, you know? So what I get from this is a very pretty, crisp and clean, and not clean as in soapy, but just airy and a bit effervescent, but there's still some substance in here. There's substance and there's depth in this fragrance. It's absolutely beautiful, guys. And the rose in here is not like a grandma rose either. It's younger than that, but it's not as young as young rose. So it sits in the middle. It's an adolescent rose. If I were to give it an age range, I'm gonna call it an adolescent rose, but I definitely think it's worth trying. For me, this is my favorite out of all of the Tiffany & Co. line. Like I said, I wasn't really checking for Tiffany & Co. like that, but once I tried this one out on my skin, I just had to pick it up because it just kept wafting off of me so beautifully. So definitely perfect for the springtime, Tiffany & Co. Rose Gold. Okay, so this next one for me is the epitome of femininity, bars, and that is Feminine Plurial from MFK. Y'all, when I smell this scent, I immediately think of a beautiful, delicate, very ladylike type of woman. And I know BR540 and the Extrait version gets all the hype from MFK, but this really needs to be on the radar much more than what it is. And I feel like when this did first drop, it kind of got mixed reviews, but I absolutely love this one. It's got iris, rose, violet, lily of the valley, vetiver, jasmine, just a bunch of floral notes in here, but it's done so perfectly. Now, you know, MFK blends to perfection, and he's done that in this one. This is a great spring scent, perfect for the springtime. I don't really pull for this any other time. Maybe you can get away with this early fall, but spring is definitely the season for this to shine. And of course summer, but spring is it. Spring is it. And let's not forget how beautiful this bottle is. It has this rose gold top on here. Y'all, the bottle is beautiful, the juice is beautiful, the scent is absolutely beautiful. Now for me, as this dries down, I do get a lot of patchouli coming through, but it's not a dirty patchouli. And what's interesting is there's jasmine on the bottom. I get that as well. So that jasmine and that patchouli mixes pretty nicely. It just gives off a beautiful, just a beautiful womanly feminine scent. And I would highly recommend this as another option from the house of MFK. Like I said, BR540, Gentle Fluidity Gold, they get a lot of hype, but this one deserves some hype as well. This is Feminine Plurial from MFK. So moving right along, next up we have Absolutely Blooming from Miss Dior. Now guys, I am going to be 100% honest. I was not checking for this one either. Initially, So when I got my nose on this, I kind of turned my nose up because I was salty about the regular Miss Dior being reformulated. When I got my nose on that, I was like, why did they do this? Who asked them to do this? And so I was kind of scouring around trying to find a 2017 version of that scent. Wasn't able to do so. But when I did smell this the first time, I didn't care for it. I wasn't really looking for it. It didn't move me, okay? So about a month or so later, I went back and I gave it another chance. I sprayed it on my body. I left Sephora. I ran my errands for the day. I went back to Sephora and I bought it. I secured the package. Y'all, this fits springtime oh so well. And while this is not the regular Miss Dior, the 2017 version, this is a nice, in my opinion, second place to that scent. Okay, it's a beautiful second place to that scent. So this has raspberry, blackberry, pomegranate, rose, musk, and pink pepper. So on the opening spray of this, I do get like this zest, this sharp, spicy zest, and then it quickly goes away and it goes into the floral note of the rose. So that pink pepper on top kind of gives it a weird yet necessary flair, in my opinion, and I think that's what intrigued me the most about this scent. But overall, it's a really pretty fruity floral for the springtime. Now, as far as performance on this does last moderately. It's moderate. It only lasts about maybe 5 or so hours on skin. I have not tried this on clothes because the juice is pink. So this is sweet, but it's not cloyingly sweet in my opinion. And I feel like the pepper helps kind of level out that sweetness from the fruits that you get in here, as well as the musk on the bottom. And again, a musky note will get your girl every single time. So if you love a good raspberry note, I really think this would be a great option for you to pick up this spring. So that is Absolutely Blooming from Miss Dior. All right, y'all, so the next one up is Granada from Memo Paris. Now, this one here is White Floral City. There's a bunch of orange blossom in here, as well as jasmine. And I also get hints of tuberose in here, but tuberose is not an official note listed for this scent, at least not on Fragrantica, but I definitely smell tuberose in the background. But it has a list of other notes as well. It's got grenadine, it's got bergamot, it's got heliotrope, as well as your vanilla and tonka bean and musk on the bottom, y'all. This is a beautiful, beautiful floral. And I want to say I recommended this for summer, but I honestly think this is better suited for the springtime. Now, I did get some wear out of this. I got a nice little dent in this fragrance, and it's quite the beauty in my opinion. I plan to get a whole lot more wear this spring. This has great lasting power on my skin for me, so I don't have any issues in the performance area. But I do want to notate that even though this is a heavy white floral, you get a lot of that in the beginning, but as this starts to dry down, it's less of a floral and more of a creamier take on this scent. So I really love that about this. And it's of course the vanilla and the musk at the bottom that kind of transform this into a creamier orange blossom, but the orange blossom is not as heavy as it is in the opening. So definitely would recommend this for the spring as well as the summer, but I'm gonna let this one play out for the springtime and see how it does for me. So this is Granada from Memo. Okay, so this next one is a very popular new kid on the block, and that is Flower Bomb's Ruby Orchid. Now, I did just talk about this scent, so I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this at all, but this is a beautiful, fruitier, sweeter version than the original Flower Bomb. And like I mentioned in my prior video, I had stopped wearing Flower Bomb a long time ago, but once I got my nose on this, I knew I wanted to pick it up, and I'm so glad that I did. And it's perfect, y'all, for the springtime. This is so good. Now, I do hear people say that this is syrupy sweet on them. I don't get like a cloying syrupy sweet type of scent from this. This to me is sweeter than the original version, but it's a little brighter to me than the original. If you're kind of over the original Flower Bomb and you want a little bit more of a twist and happier vibe from Flower Bomb, not taking anything away from the original because it's a beautiful scent, I was just over it. I think this one is a fresh, new, modern take on the original, and it's absolutely beautiful and great for the springtime. So Ruby Orchid from Viktor and Rolf. All right, so the last one on my list is one that I don't really think I've talked about or showcased on my channel, but that is La Capitale from Xerjoff. Now, this is almost a gourmandish type of scent, I would say. And if you've watched my channel any, you would know that I'm not a huge fan of gourmandish scents because I don't want to smell like food. But this one, in my opinion, is done quite well. It's got strawberry, it's got caramel, it's got peach, it's got labdanum, it's got saffron, it's got leather, it's got amber, it's got ginger, it's got rose, it's got a lot of stuff, as well as vanilla and benzoin. So I would say out of all the fragrances I've shown today, this is less of a floral, more of an ambery type of scent, and I really do enjoy it, guys. So I will say that I am not a huge fan of leather either. And while this does have leather in it, it's not overbearing, it's not overpowering. That strawberry and caramel in the opening kind of sifts through the beginning to the end of this scent, and I really do like that. Now, I will say with all of those notes, you would think that this would sit heavy, but actually it doesn't. So the first 3 to 4 hours, you're gonna get great projection. It's not overwhelming, but it's decent projection to get you noticed. And then it comes closer to the skin, a little more than just a personal skin bubble, and it lingers throughout the rest of the day. So it's great performance with this scent, and it's not too heavy or too thick as you would think with the amber or the benzoin or the labdanum in it, but it does give off some type of smoky scents in it. I don't really know how to explain it, and I want to say that's attributed to the labdanum from here. Not really sure, but overall I do love the mix of the caramel and the strawberry that's grounded with that saffron and that amber and that zest a little bit from the ginger. So really pretty scent, and I think this would work great for the springtime because it's still cool enough to take on the deepness from the benzoin and the amber, but not too much to knock you out or anything. So perfect scent for the springtime. And of the 3 fragrances that I have in my collection from Xerjoff, this is my favorite one. So La Capitale from Xerjoff. All right, guys, so that is the end of my list for this springtime lineup. I truly hope you enjoyed this video. If so, go ahead and rate me down below. Also, leave me a comment and let me know, what fragrance are you anxious to get some wear out of this upcoming spree season, okay? If you haven't already, go ahead and consider subscribing. If you enjoy my vibe and you want to be a part of the family, I would love to have you. So until the next time, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye.